If you don't like your own company, if you are bored being by yourself, then why are you foisting yourself on the rest of this world? If you can't tolerate being with you, why would anyone else want to be with you? Enjoying the moment is being comfortable no matter what is happening. There are people, there are no people, there is activity, there is no activity, there is excitement, there is no excitement. It doesn't matter what is happening. You are centered and you are present. What happens when we are in company is that we get swayed by thought. And actually, there is only a global thought bank, right? And if in a state of, depending on your emotions, depending on how you're feeling, you catch on to certain thoughts that are passing. And when a group starts talking about something, it could be complaining, it could be criticizing, it could be discussing, you tend to jump in. Even though if you were left on your own, you would never venture an opinion. You would never say the things that you say, that you catch yourself saying when you're in a group that's talking smack. You find yourself talking about others. You find yourself talking about all things negative. You find yourself talking about, just jumping in where it's even contrary to your nature. And the time you say, my God, why did I even say that? Why did those words even come out of my mouth? That's not me. That's not who I am. That's not what I stand for. Those are not my beliefs. To stand alone in a crowd is to watch these thoughts going across the room and not be moved by it. That breeze of thought just comes and goes, and you have nothing to add. You have nothing to say. Very often I find when I'm in a group, people like to make fun of what I do, the meditation and the doing, saying good things. And the first reaction from, that comes instinctually is to defend my position. But I have learnt, because you know that when someone is out to get you, that they are trying to make you feel less than you are. And there is no need to give anyone an explanation for what you do if what you're doing is a good thing and it's for the betterment of others. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. I used to find that when I went to India, I had to defend all the policies, the US policies, the education policies, the children, their behavior, everything. I was the public defender of all of that. Everyone would attack you. They would attack you first for your accent. As soon as my daughters would get into a group, they would start making fun of the accent. And it's very hard to just pull back at that point of time without defending yourself. there's nothing to defend. It's a very difficult situation. It's very difficult for you to realize at that moment, because an inner resentment comes, like, how dare you say that to me? Immediately, that part of you, which is your ego, is standing in front of everything else. You don't really deal with your ego when you're by yourself. It's only when you're in contact with others, or when you're challenged, or when you're criticized, or when you're put on the spot, then you're defending yourself. You're saying, how dare you? And there are others that when they are being challenged, instead of giving a good defense, they do the opposite. They don't say anything. They agree with whatever you say and then do nothing. Here you are offering advice, telling them what should be done and how should they treat their mother-in-law, and what career should they pick and how they should exercise. And in their defense, yeah, I'm going to start tomorrow, I'm going to do this, and then they do nothing. See, either is not good. But we pick what goes with our nature. We have a certain personality and we react to things in a certain way because of our past conditioning. But it requires a tremendous amount of self-effort to never get caught in the sway of things. To not be moved by things like fear and anxiety. You'll find that people are extremely peaceful. Life is fantastic. And suddenly, somebody sparks that fear and that resentment of, say, another community. And I saw this for myself when I lived in India during the riots. And normal people became monsters. Monsters. Just caught in the whole swing of things. Whereas individually they did not really feel anything so horrible. I mean, they did not really resent the other community that much. And that's how, the political leaders, religious leaders move you. You have to learn to stand by what you believe in. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, what anyone else feels, because all thoughts are collective. There is only collective. You can't catch hold of a thought and say, this is my thought. I have ownership. I originated this thought. Whatever you have thought today, whatever anyone else is thinking today, 6 billion people have 6 billion thoughts. None of them belong to them. Not one of your thoughts originated in you. It is a thought that exists in the collective body that you pulled in. That you pulled in because of the position, the place that you're in, the feelings that you're going through, when you're without a job, when you don't have anything going for you, when you're on the brink of some disaster, and someone says, you know what, it's that community that's responsible for you losing your job. It's because of them. You'll be the first one to get your shovel or pickaxe and go running after them. Why? Because you have pulled into a thought that really should not have been there. But it's how you were feeling. Similarly, you could be that A-type personality, succeeding, doing this, doing that, and come to a point where you're feeling as if overwhelmed, as if nothing is working. And then someone says, there's a yoga class that I'm going to, would you like to come? And you'll be there. In a minute, you've got hold of that thought. and you've moved there because of the way you're feeling at the moment. Be confident of yourself. Be proud of yourself. Be content in the space that you are. You are not anybody else. Your success or failure can never be compared to anybody else's. And you don't have to please anybody but yourself. You don't have to live up to any standards but those that you set for yourself. That's all that you have to do. And don't get moved by trends. Trends, success, popularity, these are all passing thoughts. Do you remember which actress was the most popular, won the Oscar in 1960? Or the person that won the Pulitzer Prize in 1989? Or the Nobel Prize for Science in 2010? See, we don't. We don't, because all these are transitory. They come up and they go. You don't need to get tied into it. You don't need to run after success, to run after fame, to run after these things, because none of these things last. You don't need to check your Instagram to see how many followers you got today. That's the latest trend. People get anxiety if they have not posted a picture of themselves, putting on lipstick or whatever that they do on Instagram. If they haven't got followers for the day, and if you don't post for 5 days, you lose 40 followers. So what? So what? You do what you do because you enjoy it. Whether someone likes it or someone doesn't like it, is with you, without you, remembers you, doesn't remember you, how does it matter? It's the joy of the moment. It's the joy of the moment. We must not get carried away by passing thoughts, passing trends. We need to hold our own. We need to hold our own and stay present. And that is the only way that you can be true to yourself. Whatever your self is.